Hello YouTube, in this video we will be configuring switch with a basic VLAN configuration. First thing you guys are going to need is a console cable. So what I have here, it's just a USB to console cable. Um, you want to make sure that you get a USB one unless you have a really old computer because you're going to need it. Uh, Older computers, yeah, you will have console port, but this is a USB to console, and I can put a link in the description for you guys. So I will do that. Um, with that being said, we're going to plug the console port in, and then we're going to have to find the device we will be connecting to. So I will put the drivers in the description. You just have to run through the executable. As you can see, you see this USB serial COM5. That's the device I'll be using. So I'm going to hit mobile xterm. Doesn't really matter what tool you use. You can use PuTTY, mobile xterm. There's plenty tools out there. I purchased mobile xterm, but you guys can use the free version if you want to. It's not that many features for paying for it. It's kind of stupid to pay for it, but I like to support the creators. So let's go ahead and click session, serial, and then we're going to click COM5, and the bit rate's going to be standard, so I can just click OK. And if I hit enter, you can see that I get this screen. So this switch is an Arista switch. It is in the zero, it's in the provisioning stage. So it's actually looking for a zero touch provisioning server, but we have to go ahead and cancel that. So I have to be quick. It's and then I'm just going to type zero touch cancel. If I can spell. Okay. And then it's going to reboot your switch. Another thing is these switches are extremely loud. So eventually I would like to change the fans out in there, and put Noctua fans in it. It should make it a little quieter. It's probably going to run a little hotter after you do that, but having a server run in your basement, sometimes you hear it. So we want to stop that, and I'll do a video tutorial on that here in the future. So after we take it out of zero touch provisioning mode, we're going to want to log in. I'm going to type admin. As you can see, there's no password to begin with, so we want to set that. So if I go into enable, I type enable. This brings me into. So now we're going to want to set an idle timeout as well as a password on the switch. So I am going to do. So I'm going to type config t. Okay, and then I'm going to do idle. Oh, sorry. I'm going to do management. So if you just type whatever you're typing, you can hit tab and it should tab complete you, which is pretty cool. It's a feature of Linux too, which is comes in handy often. So then I'm going to do idle dash timeout. Oh, I got to type management console, and then I can do idle timeout, and then this is seconds. So I'm going to set this to 900 seconds. Cool. So that I set the idle timeout for the console, and I'm going to type exit. We also going to want to do management telnet. I don't know if it exists. We're going to want to shut that down. Exit, and then I want to do management SSH, and then I want to set my idle timeout. Cool. If we do exit, exit, we can do sh run. Okay, see, I got this setting. I forgot to add this into the video, so I'm adding it now. And that isn't good. But yeah. Cool. So that is the first line of securing it. Then if I do exit admin, I didn't set a password as you can see. And then config t, oh sorry, enable. config t, and then I'm going to do username. Okay. Username admin privilege 15, which is the 15 is the highest privilege you can do. So there's 1 through 15, and you can customize all that stuff. But 15 is going to give you full admin access. And then I'm going to do secret, and this will set a secure password. You don't want to just type password, or at least in the past, the passwords weren't encrypted. So username admin privilege 15 secret, and then I'm going to set a password. So for now, I'm just going to set password, but I will end up going back and changing that. Okay, cool. So if I do exit admin, I can get in with admin and password. Cool. Ethernet jack versus the console cable. So cool. Let's go into config T. So this loads me into global configuration mode. I'm going to do int Ethernet interface. INT stands for interface. And I'm going to type Ethernet 1-2. Okay, cool. And here I'm going to do a no shut. And I forgot to create a VLAN. Okay, so we're going to want to configure VLAN 10. So I'm going to type VLAN 10 name. And I want this name to be unrestricted. As you can see, what I did up here wasn't great. Invalid input, invalid input, invalid input. For some reason, if you type int VLAN 10, it doesn't let you configure it. But if you type just VLAN 10, you'll be good to go. So I don't know why I was doing that, but so I set a name unrestricted, exit, and then I'm also going to do VLAN 20 IoT. Oh, VLAN 20 name IoT, exit, int VLAN. Oh, if I do int VLAN IoT now, so no, I just do oh, it's int VLAN 20. Okay, I can go in. I can do IP. I'm doing this backwards, but that's okay. 10.0.30 because I want we'll do 10.0.3.1, and then I can do /24. Oh, so for all of VLAN configuration, I have to be like this. int 10.0.3.1/24. No, I was right the first time. INT 20 IP address. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got an IP set for VLAN 20. We're going to type exit. Okay, I don't know why I typed ls. I guess I'm used to Linux. Not that I needed to look at my directory if I would just ran a command like that anyway. But anyway, let's keep going. Cool. So now we added IP address. So that's good. Next thing we will be doing is applying this VLAN to interface 17, which is where I've plugged in my IoT network. So if I do int Ethernet 17, well, one thing I want to do first is I want to do int Ethernet 3 to 48, shut down, exit. And then I also want to do INT Ethernet 50. So we'll do, I guess it's 49-49/1 through 52/4. Okay, and then I want to shut these down as well. Cool. So then I'm going to type INT Ethernet 17, shut. It was just easier to do that than it was to run multiple commands. And now I'm going to do switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 20. Cool. Now, so essentially what a VLAN is it's equivalent of me having two switches and full network segmentation, and then I can allow certain devices to access certain networks. So essentially what we did is we gave the VLAN an IP, which will allow it to communicate, and it'll lock the devices in that VLAN to that specific IP range, which is pretty cool, right? Um, so yeah, so that IoT network now is segmented, and we may want to give it access to the internet, but we want to keep it away from the rest of the network, right? So that's the point of doing that. So we threw it on a zone 24. So that is good. So that any devices on there will need to be in that range to be able to communicate. So now I want to set up my unfeathered VLAN. So I'm going to do INT VLAN 10. Okay. No shut, which is no shutdown. And I want to do IP address 10.0.2.1/24. Cool. I don't know if I named it. I didn't. So yeah, I did name it. So now that I added an IP, I can go into INT Ethernet 1 to 2. So that opens an Ethernet range. So that's saying I want Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2. I want to configure these. First thing I'm going to do is a no shut in case I accidentally shut them down. Okay, I shut them down. I turn them on. And then I'm going to do switch port mode access, switch port access VLAN 10. So at that point, I just set up a VLAN 10 so that my IoT devices can communicate. So I want to jump off of Wi-Fi, right? So, and this is the router that I'm going to be using for the IoT stuff, but I want to jump off of this. Cool. And I want to go into control panel. So you can see here, I have my network setup is 10.0.10.120. So since I dumped the Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi, I should be able to ping 10.0.2.1. And see, now I am pinging a switch from my desktop. But what I can't do is I can't ping 10.0.3.1. Ah, I can. And you know why? It's not fully segmented at the moment. It actually has to go through the hop. So since we did give it an IP, that makes sense. Okay, so now that we got basic VLANs working, we are going to do the routing. I am going to go ahead and get rid of the routing I had set up. And this is just routing to my Netgear router. In another video, we will be installing OpenSense on a router, so that's going to be pretty cool. Well, I actually have a, um, oh wow, beautiful. Actually, I have this computer. It's a little small. It's actually rackable. Um, have a nice four port NIC in it, and uh, some guy at work gave it to me. So this is what we'll be using to run OpenSense. I do not have a hard drive for it, so have to run to Best Buy or order one online. But yeah, cool. Okay, so enable. I'm gonna go and config terminal, or you can just type config. I'm gonna revert these settings. This one was wrong in there, so that could have caused problems down the line. And then no IP routing. Okay. Exit. SHRU. Cool. So now we have IP routing disabled, so it will not route traffic past the switch. In order to make this happen, first thing we're going to want to do, it's already configured, is the port I have the internet plugged into, but I'm going to do INT Ethernet 48. Okay, I would do a no shut. I do switch port, and we want this. Oh, we need to do an exit. So we need to do INT VLAN 100. We're going to set up a VLAN 100, and we're going to throw the Ethernet port 48 on there, and that's going to be my trunk. And this is going to allow the tag traffic to pass through the VLAN to the ISP router. However, it's probably not going to route to the internet because it doesn't have the more complicated NATing features on my, well, it's not an ISP router, it's a Netgear router, but it doesn't have the more complicated NATing features, so it doesn't double NAT, so I'm not getting essentially back. I have no way of getting the packets back. But anyway, what I like to do is switch port trunk. Oh, that's the VLAN. And then I want to add an IP address to the VLAN. So it's going to be IP address 192.168.1.2. I do it /30 just because we don't want anything getting in between, in the middle of that, and intercepting the traffic or listening to anything on the subnet other than the router and the the only thing that can communicate to the subnet is going to be the router, at least on the switch side. The router is a /24, so it kind of defeats the purpose of doing this. But anyway, cool. So we have the IP address set there. We're going to want to do a no shut. I'm going to want to exit. I'm going to do interface Ethernet 48 switch port mode trunk switch port trunk native VLAN 100, which tells it that the 100 VLAN is the VLAN that it should be on. So that's like typing switch port VLAN 100, but this, we don't want it to be a, we want this to be a trunk. So we did that, and then I can do switch port trunk allowed VLAN 10, 20, 100. Okay, and we're also going to do no shut. If I spell it right, no shutdown, no shut. Cool, so that turned on that interface. So if we do an exit, let me see if I can ping my router 1.1. Okay, I can ping the router from the switch, and then now we're going to type source 10 dot, and then we're going to ping it from VLAN 10, and then it's not going to ping from the other VLAN because there's no route on the other side back in. Okay. Router here. Okay, now that I'm in the router, I'm going to click Advanced, go to Administration, sorry, Advanced Setup and Static Routes. I have a static route to VLAN 5, as you can see, through the switch's gateway, but I do not have a static route for, I guess the VLAN name is wrong, so that would be VLAN 10, and then I'd also want one for VLAN 20. So, like I said, eventually we will be switching to OpenSense. I have to wait for an SSD, and then I can go through installing and configuring that in the next couple of videos. So I changed the name to VLAN 10, but essentially we're going to put the destination that you want to hit, the subnet mask, and the gateway you'll be routing through. So I'm going to route through 192.168.1.2, which is the other interface on the switch that we just configured here. 192.168.2.1. No, 192.168.1.2. Wow. Okay, so we're going to route to this VLAN, and we should be good to go. Cool. And there's another thing that we're going to have to do after we do this. So I'm going to hit Apply, and then I'm going to hit Add, Active Private. I'm going to do VLAN 20. Cool. And this is going to be 255.255. Oh, IP. 110.0.3.1, 255.255.255.0 through gateway 192.168.1.2, metric 10, apply. So now we have another static route set. If I come back here from the switch, I'm now able to ping it. So we had to wait. Your static routes have to be assigned on both ways. We do not currently have a static route on or IP routing enabled. So let's go ahead and do the static route on this side. So this is going to be IP routing, and then IP route 0.0.0.0/24, or not /24/0. So this is setting what we call the gateway of last resort. So if it doesn't know where to send traffic, it is going to send it over the gateway of last resort. So we're going to set IP route 0.0.0.0 to 192.168.1.1. Okay, and if I do exit and then show run, I have IP routing enabled, which enables the layer 3 routing features of the switch, as well as a gateway of last resort set. So if I type show IP route, you can see it shows the gateway of last resort is VLAN 100. Has to get through VLAN 100 to hit the gateway of last resort, which is my trunk. And then I have IPs set that I will be also that are also routable. The reason why it was able to route from the 10.0.2.0 network to the 10.0.3 network is SVI, switch virtual interfaces, and inter-VLAN routing. So in another video, we will set up access control list so that only the traffic we want to communicate can. So essentially, I'm going to want this network to be able to communicate with this network, but this network not to be able to see this. And that's what we'll set up in a later video. Cool. So now I have everything configured. I'm going to connect to Ethernet on my computer, and um, we're going to see if we can ping the router. So see, I'm on Wi-Fi. We're going to disconnect. Let's go to Network and Sharing Center. Oh yeah, that's not what I wanted to do. We'll just go to control. We'll go this way. Network and Sharing, Network Internet, Network and Sharing Center, Ethernet, properties. Cool. So those are set. 10.0.2.120. Cool. And now, okay, the last thing after we do all that is we're going to do copy run start. So if this switch turns off, we won't lose our configuration. Sweet. If I open command prompt, let's do ping 192.168.1.2. So that's pinging the gateway of the switch. And now we can ping 1.1. What we won't be able to do with the current setup is connect to the internet because of NATing. So if I ping 8.8.8.8, I'm not going to be able to hit, which is a Google IP, but I'm not going to be able to hit the internet. So that's not fun. But yeah, let's in the next video we'll set up access control list to block communication between VLANs, and we'll keep going forward with the series. Have a great day. Peace out, YouTube.